Hi Christina. So here is some guidance for the paper that I gave you. So Rhythm of the Universe, which I forgot to give you that little piece of paper, I'll give it to you next time I see you, is a simple breathing practice. It's a good way to start your practice to help bring yourself into the present moment. So getting yourself into a comfortable space, making sure that you have space between your ribs and ribs and your hip bone. So feeling a little stretch there. Nice tall spine, tailbone tucked. Then your hands can be about the same width as your shoulders. And then as you inhale, you'll let the energy go up, pausing at the top. And then exhale, have the hands float down. Pausing at the bottom. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, floating down. So pausing, taking a moment here to feel that energy, doing that Rhythm of the Universe as many times as feels good to you. So that is Rhythm of the Universe. Then we're going to come into tabletop position. So coming into tabletop position, you want your knees underneath your hips, and then your hands are on the ground. Remember, we want our elbows to go back more. We don't want them to go out to the side. So placing your hands to where they should be for that. And then you're pushing down into the mat, and then imagine you're pulling the mat apart. You can even imagine bringing the heels of your hands back to your knees. So you're feeling all that strength there. You find your gentle brace in your tummy by clearing your throat. And then that is your stability. I'm gonna turn to my side so that you can see me a little bit more for those hip cars. So as you notice, let me just tuck my shirt in so you can see a little bit better that way. Okay, so wrist beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. And then we're in tabletop position. Gaze is pretty much down, because if we have our head up, we're going to be causing some pain there. I forgot to mention cat-cows and that pandiculation, but you have that on your sheet. So any sort of movement that you want to do, and of course cat-cow, or simply relaxing the tummy and then rounding out the spine. So hip cars, give you an example on one side. So we have our hands pushing down, pulling apart. Our stability right now is on my left, and then I'm going to stamp the ceiling with my right leg. In front of me, I have my drishti, or that focal point, so I know where I'm looking, and it helps to build balance, right? Then we open up to fire hydrant, and then slowly roll that down. So inhale, push, exhale, open, inhale, down, inhale, open, or I should say stamp, exhale, open, inhale, down. Before going to the opposite side, I would just suggest coming down, shaking the hands out, and maybe taking the rolls with the wrist. So we've done all the hip cars to build some strength, and I'm turning to the side just so you can see that gait. So we did, well, you can do hip cars on both sides, and then at the gate, or at the gate at the end of each one. So coming back up, you're gonna open up, woo, that's my balance there, and then foot goes out to the side, which you can't quite see, but the foot can be on the ground like that, nice and flat. Coming up, take a moment to feel your strength here. So feel the strength between the legs. Imagine you're squeezing the legs together. That opposite hand can be on the waist, and then arm reaches up. We talked about looking forward at first for your balance, and then maybe floating over, coming down, so you can do a few of those. Once you feel more stable there, there's that option to look up when you bring your hand up, and the option also to bring the hand behind your back. Okay, so that's the first part. and the clocks. So, okay, Christina, so clocks, remember we are doing that kind of as a drill, and it's an add-on from hip cars. So we're pushing down into the feet are about hip distance apart, and we're squeezing the legs together. You have that gentle brace in the tummy, and then you can bring your hands to your hips for stability. We're gonna keep that strength. I'm gonna mirror you here, so that strength in your right leg, and then gently relax that left. Lift the leg up, come to 12, then come over to 9, and then come back to 6. And then just gently inhale, exhale. So as you practice these, you're building strength. And then you have that option to add on, reaching over on kind of a curtsy lunge so that front knee softens a bit. You can play with floating the toes and seeing how that feels, and you can also touch the ground. So that is clocks. Okay, Christina. So now we're going into the standing postures. So I'm gonna try to hopefully get enough of my body in this so you can see, but you're going to stand over here. So mountain pose. I'll just turn here just so you can see that a little bit better. But again, feet are hip distance apart, and we're pushing down into the mat, and then we're squeezing the legs together. So finding all 4 corners of the feet, so basically just the whole foot. Squeeze the legs together, and maybe even imagine pulling your heels back towards the back of the mat. You have that gentle brace in the tummy and lower back area, and the space in between your ribs and your hip bone. So we're gonna do the hip cars, remember, or you can do the clocks. I'm gonna start with my left foot being my stability, so the left foot is gonna stay against the ground, but I'm gonna gently soften my right knee. I have my hands on my hips for balance. You could also do prayer hands. Know that you can always use a wall too. So the first version would be the hip cars, similar to the hip cars. You come up to that 90 loop, like you're stamping the ground. And again, I'm gonna find a drishti in front of me, that focal point. And then you can open to fire hydrant, and then roll the leg back and bring it behind you. So that would be doing it with the hip cars. If you wanted to do it with clocks, come back to mountain pose, push down, squeeze, pull the heels back, gentle brace in the tummy area, and low back. Soften that right knee, tap to 12, tap to 3, and then bring it back to 6. So either way is great. That front foot is pointing forward, and the back foot is at that 45-degree angle. So you can take a few moments here to kind of feel it out, bending in the knees. And then remember, as you bend in, if you ever need some guidance, if your knee's starting to collapse, you can place that hand on the outside and gently push in. So we're pushing down on the legs, squeezing the legs together. Our spine is straight down. Then we can bring our hands to our ribs, turn our ribs forward, and then lift your arms up into warrior 2. I'm going to expand here a little bit. So, warrior 1. Warrior 1. So you're reaching through the fingers in warrior 1, and you can hold this for anywhere between 3 to 5 breaths. Then when you're ready, you're going to open up to warrior 2. So arms are straight up from the shoulders. Gaze is over that front hand. Then, after about 3 to 5 breaths, you'll straighten that left leg. Left hand comes to the leg, and then we can reach up with the right hand. So trying to open up the top side here and the inner line of the legs, okay? Then I was having you do a wide leg forward fold. So you come up and then heels in, toes out, fold it down. Okay, so then if you want to, you can go straight to the other side. We would have the legs in mountain pose again, push down, squeeze together, pull back, gentle brace. Right leg is your solid leg. Maybe you have your hands on your hips. Option for hip car, so going around and back, or option for tapping and clock. 12, 9, and 6, okay? As you come into warrior one, feel it out. Ribs turn towards the front, arms go up, warrior one. Then you're gonna go to warrior two, come up to triangle pose. Okay, so that was the yang version. Now for yin, we're doing mermaid pose. So I have my right hip against this bolster. You'll probably be using pillows like I said, and then that bottom knee is on the bottom of the opposite foot. Then you roll down. So we're trying to open this up. You can bring the top arm over. Other option here too is you can walk that top knee back a little bit because you might feel a little bit more in your hip flexor. So that's an option, up and over. So you'll stay there for anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. Then you come up and you can change sides like this and go back into it. I am actually going to, so move equal sides, move that pillow. So this time my left leg is against it, right knee on the bottom. I'm rolling down, bringing the arm up and over, and maybe walking that back knee back. In between that pose and your next pose, you're gonna rest in Shavasana. So you'll lie on your back, and then we'll scoot down a little bit here so you can see. So after you've rested for about a minute in Shavasana, you have the option of coming into the fallen tree. So that's one where I like to bend one knee, roll to the side. So it's generally the knee that I'm gonna bring the arm behind, actually has to be. And then you bring the arm here or here, just as long as it's behind you. Roll back, opening up that left arm, right arm reaches out from the side and you gaze at that right arm. You take the left leg straight, and option to bend that right knee into a tree pose, so like a fallen tree. Then you'll go right into the opposite side after about 2 to 5 minutes. Bend the right knee, roll, bring the right arm behind, roll back. Leg straightens, arm out to the side, gazing at that arm. Option to take that left leg into tree. Okay, one last thing that I'm pretty sure I forgot to do in the other recording is remember, child's pose is not very comfortable for you. So we have that option of getting the same sensation for the body, but in a way that's comfortable for you. So pillow or pillows, depending on the density of the pillow. You can also use blankets, folded up blankets. And so the bolster is going right about where my hips are and my chest. And then I either take my fists and stack them, or kind of lean down like that, okay? So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions and I can help you out, okay? Thank you.